So I'm Denis François from Université Gustave Eiffel, France, to be short. So today, it is known that right-of-way of several types of transport infrastructures can be regarded as possible shelter for local flora and entomofauna, notably. And the first point, this shelter can be rapidly mobilized to safeguard declining species. And second, in fragmented areas, it can contribute to reweaving the surrounding green and blue networks. So it is essential to know the nature, I mean the type of transport infrastructures, the length and the surface area developed by this row likely to provide ecological shelter. In order, one, to measure the ecological stakes they represent and the potential responsibilities of stakeholders, and also in order to possibly develop a current general management strategy and policy at the country scale. So the objective of this small study was to estimate what I call the floor value, because it is the minimum value of the surface area and the linear extent developed as potential ecological shelter, ESP, provided by the four major transport infrastructures in metropolitan France. So that means what simply databases on transport networks and land use, and our knowledge on the geometric and maintenance characteristics of the 5 types of linear transport infrastructures: road, railways, waterways, and power lines. So the method was to, with the GIS, was to put out urban and industrial areas as not part of green and blue networks. Also to put out of the system what's called the proximity strips of roads and railways. You have here the proximity strips, for example. To remove also road medians and interchanges as risk of isolation problems. But the opposite, we took into account the influence of the topography on the average road width for roads and railways because of embankments and ditches. So here you have with the green arrows, you have the areas that have been taken into account in the calculation and wide flow value, because for waterways, we were also only able to consider with safety, security, these two parts, technical parts. So this is the result of the calculation. So the total length of ESP at metropolitan France is 88,000 kilometers. You can contemplate on both cards maps where they are for the three for roads, for power lines, railways, and waterways on the corner, right corner. So most is made of the power line network regarding length. Second comes railways, and the smaller part is for waterways. The length doesn't change because of our uncertainties on the width, and you have the share of road around 20% regarding the total length. Regarding the surface area, so 2,000 square kilometers. According to the width, the major part, 70% is made by power line rows, and we have a similar share for roads and railways, and a very small part for waterways. Regarding now the depositories, it is important to know who are the depositories of this potential ecological shelter. Related to operated networks. So operated networks, that means we have to maintain. You can contemplate here that regarding power lines, so most of the depositories are individual forest owners and local authorities. And the part of states is very small. Part of states is the one with no mark. For railways, it's a national company, so 100% of the 32% of the length developed ecological shelter potential is under the depository is a state. For roads, most of 1/3 is also the depositories are local authorities and concession companies. And for the waterways, this is the opposite. Most is from the national company, and this is the state, which is the depository. That means that if operators want to get help from local partners to manage right-of-ways in a more biodiversity-friendly way. They just have to arrange two-party agreements with the local stakeholders to do this. In case of power lines in France, so because a lot of private forest and local authority forest, this would be third-party agreement because they are owner of the land. And last slide is so conclusion. The development of regarding the development of a current general management policy of RAW for biodiversity, through this small calculation, we have the clarification of stakes and responsibilities at national level. To go further, just a step, we need to refine regarding waterways. So also it's a simple and fast method to applicable everywhere at any scale, provided that there are cartographic database available. At local scale, that can be served as a guide to reweave green and blue networks, like it is shown this map, where you can, provided there is a small distance of this potential ecological shelter, and we do the work. Some species can circulate from here, a red railway ESP to this one, a green one, a road one, yes, a road, rivers, waterway, and once again a railway. So that's the mainstreaming of green-blue networks and right-of-ways of infrastructures. Thank you.
Any questions?
Did you include?
This was the red network, and the green network, the green part. So most of 100% of this network belongs to state.
Of railway. Okay.
In France.
Okay. Thanks.
Right, and extinction, it is the second potential for ecological potential.